Today I'm doing a little wrap up of the end of the month, and I'm going to finalize my trades in my 0 year to date RORK tab. My name is Levi Woods. This is not financial advice in any way, shape, or form. It's just what I'm doing, what I'm looking at. Today we're looking at the Rolling Options Record Keeper. This is my flagship product. I've been using it, selling it for years and years. It's a Google Sheet template and it works extremely well. In the beginning of 2025, I did an upgrade to this. It got a 0 year to date tab. I've done a couple of videos on it. Today what I'm going to do is look at taking out the individual trade sheets to start a new month. And it's a little bit different and it's a little bit simpler than before. So let's get into it. We are going to deal with today the year-to-date RORK, the open options DTE, and the open options A to Z. Now, the way that this functions, this data that is populating here currently, when we have this year 2025 selected, what it's doing is it's looking at the A to Z sheet. So it is pulling this data and it is populating all of the tabs that we have down at the bottom. So every sheet that is in this file is being automatically populated to the A to Z. The DTE sheet is not actually necessary. You don't have to use this sheet if you don't want. Everything does appear automatically in the A to Z, but many people do find it helpful to sort it by days to expiration. And we like to be able to put in a custom closing credit or debit in column R. So I populate this out, but what happens is that we get to a point where we need to clear out the sheet and make an archive of it. Now you can see right now, I've got 98 active trades and I have 84 closed trades. I've had this open for about 2 months and I need to remove some of these trades and just archive them. So the very first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to make a duplicate copy or backup copy of this. So I'm going to go to File and say Make a Copy. And then I can just call this whatever I want. Drawbridge Finance Option Trades Archive January 25. And I'm going to say Make a Copy. And that's just going to save it to my Google Drive. So it's going to make an exact duplicate. That way what I can do is I can keep my active sheet and I can delete all the stuff that's closed. I don't need it. If I need to look back at those trades, I can just go back to my archive. All right, it is absolutely vital that I do that step. But now that it's done, I have 2 identical versions of the same thing. What I can do is I can close the archive and I can just focus on my active sheet. And if I need anything, if I mess anything up, I can always go back to my archive and I can pull that data back into it. So I can feel free to delete whatever I need, which is pretty great. So I'm just gonna close off my new tab that's open so I don't make any, don't get this confused. And now I'm working just on my active sheet. My plan is to delete all of these closed trades. Now this is the first time I'm doing it for this year, and you can see I've got this white box right here in A3, and it's a white pull down. And what that does is it actually changes the data in all of these formulas. And if I change it at a later time, I'm actually going to be messing up some of these formulas and it's going to not work very well. So the first thing I'm going to do is gray out this box so I don't accidentally change it in the future. So I'm just going to change that color to gray, knowing that I'm going to keep this on 2025 for the rest of the year. And for next year, I'll just use a fresh template. Now, what I'm looking at is I'm going to be copying and pasting these columns, these B through L, and I'm going to do that for all of the sheets that I'm going to delete. So these regions down here at the bottom. And at this point in time, I'm just going to delete my January trades, just the 4 weeks that I definitely don't need to look at. And I'm also going to be deleting the data here. So to do this, to kind of lock it in, all I do is select it. So just watch how easy this is. I'm going to use copy, or you can just use the hotkey, and then we're going to go and just right in the same spot, we're just going to go paste special values only. And what that does is it converts it from a formula to a text value. Then what I'm going to do is I'm going to do the same thing down here in the bottom. I'm going to select January 1st through 31st. I'm going to use my hotkey to copy, and I'm going to use my hotkey to paste. And now those should be values instead of formulas. And now because these are no longer formulas, what I can do is I can go and delete the sheets. Another thing I want to check is I just want to make sure that this data doesn't change for February. So you can see I've got 25, 9, 2, and 11 trades. And I want to make sure that those tabs stay open. These 11 trades that I've closed so far, I'm going to leave those open so that I can make an archive at the end of February. So I have to skip 11 of the 83 sheets. So that's what I'm going to do now is I'm just going to go along, and my sheet does highlight these. There's a little bit of formatting that happens automatically. You can see these green tabs are ones that we know are closed, and we just have to go along and just delete them. So I'm just going to right click and say delete, and it's going to ask me, are you okay deleting this? I'm going to say okay. And again, remember, I'm leaving open trades open. So these are trades that have just been opened. February 3rd, I opened a trade. February 3rd, I opened another trade. Trade 3. This one was open November 29th. And you can see I closed this back on December 5th. I really don't need this in here anymore. So I'm going to right click and say delete and say okay. And I have to do this for all 83 sheets. That's just kind of how this works. Now I think I've deleted them all. I've gone to the very end of the workbook. I'm going to click up on this options D to E, and I'm going to jump over there, and you're going to see there's a whole bunch of references in here. It's like, holy, but there's still a few green ones that are showing, and I just need to check how many do I have. I have 11 closed, so that's a good indicator that I deleted exactly the ones that I was supposed to, because that's the number that I had checked. I'm actually only showing 24 trades, 8, 2, and 10. So there's a little bit of a glitch there, and I have to figure out what exactly it is that I deleted. So let me do a little bit of troubleshooting. I'm just going to jump over to the sheet. I'm going to look at the closing date column here. So I'm going to see February 4th. That is correct. February 3rd. I have this one right here, which is January 31st that I should have deleted because that was last month. So this IWM January 22nd trade. But you can also see I'm missing one here that is likely the one that I deleted by accident. So I'm going to have to bring this sheet back. I'll show you how easy that is. First of all, I'm just going to delete this IWM trade. So I'm going to jump over there, right click and say delete. So I'm going to say delete the sheet, go okay. That's why I keep an archive. So I'm just going to go to my Google Drive and open up my archive. Fastest way to get there is just go to the options A to Z, go down to the bottom, look for that Uber trade, and I can click on the link to jump right to it. That is the one that I accidentally deleted. You can see it was closed February 5th for profit, a little earnings trade. I'm going to right click and I'm going to say copy to, and I'm going to say existing sheet, and then I can just choose my active sheet. This one, it's going to be the Drawbridge Finance active options trade. I'm going to click and say insert, and it says sheet copied successfully, open spreadsheet. I'm going to hit OK, close my archive again, because I don't want to make any changes to my archive. That is archived for a reason. So if I go to the very end of my current sheet, you're going to see here's the tab, copy of Uber earnings. I'm just going to rename that Uber earnings, and I'm just going to drag this one into alphabetical order, or I could go back and use my sort function. The one thing that's not going to work in here, because it's imported, it's not likely going to jump. Oh, still does, still jumps over there. Okay, well now we're all fixed up. We can see here I've got my 11 closed trades that are all in February. And you'll notice down here at the bottom, we got some red going on. I have the annual total is incorrect. It should be identical. And it's because what has happened is I've missed out on this line. I actually forgot to copy one of these weeks, and I did that on purpose just to show you how easy it is. I'm just going to open up my archive one more time, copy this line, and paste it into my active sheet. Everything's looking good now. We have the original number of trades in here, 71, 52, made $5,000 so far this year. We're ticking along. We've checked here, these numbers all match the annuals, so we're good to go. Next thing we're gonna do is go over to options A to Z. We're just gonna click on the options A to Z, and I'm going to use the refresh button at the top. So I'm going to just click to refresh, and that's going to collect all of the data from the bottom, and it's going to re-highlight everything and just do everything automatically. This sheet functions very, very well because of that script that I wrote. There we go. We've got at the top 98 active trades, 11 closed trades. We can see that. We're going to go over to the options options DTE sheet, and I'm basically going to delete 2 columns of data. I'm going to delete all of the white cells here in column R, and I'm going to delete all of these that have been deleted from the sheet already. I'm just going to delete the links. So very simply, just click on here, go down, hit shift, and then hit the delete key. So we're just deleting the data entry in all of these cells that are currently white and have this reference, because those are all sheets that I deleted. And I'm just going through selecting, hitting the delete key. And if there was values in any of these, I would delete those as well. I haven't been entering values because I have so many trades on. And that's it. That's as simple as that is. So now I go up to the top, and the button doesn't always show in these cases. Sometimes there's a weird glitch, but I'm going to click on this invisible button that's right up here, and it's going to run that script, and it's going to sort these sheets and take all of these blank rows that are now blank and ready for input again and put them back down at the bottom of the sheet. The sheet will take 250 rows, and you'll see what happens when this script finishes. It's just going to put all the blank ones down at the bottom. That's all it's doing. It's just resorting the rows. So you're not deleting rows ever. There's always 250 rows in the sheet. There we go. Simply done. It says it finished the script, and now all of these down here down at the bottom are all of my blank rows ready for input. Oh, I see there's a little glitch here. You see there was a value in column R, and we know column R is one of the ones that I can delete a value from. So we just delete that. And there we go. We're good to go. I've got my 11 closed trades at the top, and I've got all of my open trades ready to go, so I can see all of my trades expiring tomorrow, working very well. That's it. Hopefully that helps. I know it's a little bit complicated. This is a complicated sheet. It does a lot. It's very, very powerful, and it's a little nuanced. So that's how we do copying a month and rolling over and keeping just our active trades. Hope you guys enjoyed it. Remember to give me a thumbs up. It helps the algorithm a ton. Let's get rich together. Take care. Remember, my option tier patrons get the RORK for free. So check out patreon.com/drawbridgefinance or head over to drawbridgefinance.ca to buy it independently. Check out the free newsletter or get more details on Patreon.